Hello and welcome live here on CROW LAX TV. My name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Eric Krause is your man on the camera. Today we're set for the matchup between the Beaumont Outlaws and the home side Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. It's the Rebels that suffered the 6-5 loss to the Mountain View Mavericks last weekend. Couple goals from Jolivet, couple goals from Matthew Vetch, and one on the board from Manning, but going to have to do better than that are the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels if they're going to look for the win in this contest today. We're getting set at center, ready for this contest to go. Simonson not able to come away with that. Off the draw there. Poulsen going to step in along the right wing of the floor here. Move towards the center. Careful not to go over and back as he's going to stop up, and he has some help now. In along the left side now, the Outlaws getting set up. Still 17 seconds to work with on the shot clock here as they continue to move the ball around. Not really too much. Center movement cutting through the 24 right now, keeping to the outside. Rebels doing a great job defensively right now. Is back to the point now. Shot towards the net, and that one ends up wide, and it's going to be a Rebels recovery and possibly a breakaway to start off this contest. Here come the Rebels back the other way. They score! Open it up. First shot, first goal. Calix Simonson. The Rebels, the 1-0 lead. Be sure to get your weekly CROW LAX TV 50/50 tickets. Tickets on sale until Monday at 4 p.m. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels for more information at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. Simonson, the goal scorer, going to get set to take this draw once again for Fort Saskatchewan. Blown in here and won this time by him, and it's going to be a Rebels possession here once again. Pressure up along the boards as Renault stepped in, going to hold up the ball, now toss it off to the center for Kohut. Kohut feeds that to the left side of the floor. Back up to the point now, shot towards the net, and that one going to be saved there nicely. 19:03 to go in this first period as the Outlaws look to break out this ball here. In net, to start this game for Beaumont. It's Reed McLeod. So Outlaws have entered into the Rebels zone here once again. Still 10 seconds on the shot clock. Having troubles cutting inside here on Fort Saskatchewan on these first couple possessions. Ball handed off there by Maloney to the top now. That shot wide of the net once again. It's going to come across half. No, swiped at the final seconds of the shot clock there. And coming back the other way, here come the Rebels. Teej Brown, toss that one off at the point to Simonson. Simonson going to bring it all the way over to the right side. Kind of at that top shooter position, moving closer to the crease, makes a little bit of a hop step there. Still looking for a shot opportunity. Can't shake his defender and chooses to feed that one off now to Owen. Owen with it, back up to the point. Kohut finds a way to the center, he scores 2-0. The Rebels taking their early lead over the Outlaws. Jackson Kohut, the man who put that one between the pipes that time around. You're going to want to explore Fort Saskatchewan, discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Visit their historic downtown, scenic parks, and river valley. Work in a thriving community, play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. As we're set here at center once again, the Rebels taking the 2-0 lead. Almost a loose ball interference call. Play did get blown dead. It's going to be the Outlaws ball as they head into Rebels territory once again. Kai Ellis, he's going to feed that one off nicely to Brandon Schaff. Schaff, bobbled pass there, and it's going to be the captain, Scrimshaw, who picks it back up for the Rebels, trying to head in and cause an opportunity. He'll slow up here, wait for the offense to get back out on the floor. Feed down for Jackson Baker. He had a problem bringing it in, but has some help now from Tyler Manning, who's able to recover that ball, but on the wrong side of the floor. Manning going to pass that one off to the right shooter position. Cut towards the center here. Rebels looking for an opportunity. Back out to the point. Another shot and a big save there by Reed McLeod. Picked up in the crease nicely here by Peyton Cook, who looks to move this up the floor. Once again, it comes up along the left for Goudreau. Goudreau drops that pass off now and back up to the point for Eric Tompkins. Tompkins going to feed that to Turner. Turner gave that pass up right away. Still being held to the outside are the Outlaws. 17:50 to go now in this first period as the Rebels still lead 2-0 and look to break up the floor once again. Here comes Matthew Vetch. Vetch going to hold up, pass that ball off nicely to Simonson. Simonson going to bring it over to the right side of the floor as the rest of the offense comes back out. Up to the point now for Kohut. Kohut fed that to the left side of the floor, back up to the point now. Feed inside there for Kohut, but he just couldn't quite grasp that pass in, and the Outlaws pick up and able to head back the other way, moving with some speed up along the floor is Wyatt Polson. He's going to stop up around the blue line now and pass that one off as the offense comes out here for Beaumont. Over to the left shooter. To the center down, that pass not able to connect, but recovered by Beaumont here. Grace, a couple swim moves, able to pass that ball off as it comes out once again and back to Grace. Grace looking for his options here, going to make a cut towards the center, feeling lots of pressure, three-man on him, and he loses the ball there. Starting goaltender for the Rebels here is Hunter Lukoweski. Hasn't given up a shot yet, but hasn't really taken too much either to start this first period. 16:45 to go is coming up towards the point now. It's Jackson Baker still with the ball, lost his handle, able to recover it. Baker going to feed that to the left side of the floor now for Manning. Manning makes a nice move, one hand on the stick, spinning away from the defenders up to the point. Shot towards the net there, and a nice save by Reed McLeod off the left pad, and good job to bring in the rebound there. Not easy to be a Lacrosse goaltender. That ball likes to bounce, and when it's going off hard leg pads like that, it can be hard to control, but that's why these players get the spot on the teams they do. They're able to make it happen, and Reed McLeod shows off a high-skill save there as the Outlaws now down into the Rebel zone once again. 16:08 to go in this first period. Is still held to the outside is Beaumont. This is their first opportunity from inside, and the save there by Hunter Lukoweski. We do have a slashing call upcoming. It looks like it's the Outlaws headed to the box. It's going to be Carter Dickin, and that's going to put the Rebels to the power play. This Rebels power play is brought to you by Smith Insurance Services. They aren't here to sell you insurance. They are here to help you buy it. Going to start with the ball at the point is Jackson Kohut. Want to remind you, at Vimy Lacrosse, excellence is the standard, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors. They are dedicated to molding well-rounded student-athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. At the top, it's Kohut. He's going to feed that over to the left shooter, now into the center. A quick shot there by the Rebels. That seemed to have caught a piece of the goaltender, McLeod. No reset of the shot clock. A quick opportunity right off to start this power play for the Rebels. Looks like, we're actually 4-on-4 in this contest, as a Rebel kind of headed to the box a little late there, so we are even out on the floor. My apologies for you watching at home. At the left shooter now, Rebels working with the ball. It's Eastwood. He cut towards the center there. Kind of had a collision with Reed McLeod. And it looks like we're going to have some rough stuff ensue here over in the right corner. Dragged to the ground by the referee. Not often you see the ref get involved, but to see if anybody else is going to have to make the trot to the box here. It's not looking like that's going to be the case. Play just blown dead, but now we're back underway. It's Outlaws ball, 15.5 to go now in the first period. 1.5 to go in these coincidental penalties, but we are 4-on-4, not similar to hockey, folks. It doesn't stay 5-on-5. Outlaws with the ball is here. This one cut to the center, not able to take in the pass there, and a loose ball recovered by the Rebels, and Matthew Vetch going to use his speed to come up along the right side of the floor here once again. Vetch just going to toss that one off nicely there for Jackson Kohut, who tried to make a drive towards the net, does now, and still looking for an opportunity to shoot. Kohut finds his way around the defender, gets inside, he scores! Jackson Kohut, his second goal of this contest. 14:56 to go in the first, and the Rebels lead this one 3-0 over the Beaumont Outlaws. Still 4-on-4 here, 52 seconds to go in that, as the clock now running, but they've stopped it up. Maybe going to have to give that a bit of a 2-second buffer here, but it doesn't look like they're going to make the adjustment as we're getting set here at center once again. Still 4-on-4, signals the referee. Simonson in to take this draw once again for Fort Saskatchewan. He's going to come up with it. Now the ball able to bounce its way back to Renault. Renault brings that ball across center. 25 seconds on the shot clock to work with for the Rebels as this one gets passed off back to Sutherland in the right wing. Sorry, Simonson. Simonson passes that one towards the middle, and a nice save there by McLeod. Crease violation was called, but still able to make the save. As back in the Rebel zone once again are the Outlaws along the left wing. Working with it along the outside once again, not making too much effort to cut inside, but of course the Rebels stopping them at all angles so far. Beaumont going to have to devise a new game plan here early in the first period to try to make it away as another shot goes high and wide over top of the net, not testing the goaltender Lukaweski. And a wide shot as the shot clock continues to run down, and this just a light one right into the stick of Lukaweski as the Rebels going to begin to break out here. Vetch not able to gather in that pass right away, but Reese Walsh there to help him out, and he takes a hit there from Jenna Snyder. Snyder getting involved physically there, but a loose ball foul on her, and that's going to allow the Rebels to pick up goaltender Hunter Lukaweski coming out as the play already counting down. 8 seconds is what you have to get across center when you pick up the ball in your own zone here in the Junior B Tier 1 level of the RMLL. As this pass not able to connect down here as the Rebels trying to work with it now. Jolivet had that pass taken away from him. Weatherby heading in along the left side, going to spin back now and feed that off to the center nicely for Brendan Schaff. Schaff still with the ball now, playing around with it, looking for an option, and gets that ball stripped off him real nicely there by Eastwood, who's headed in now 2-on-1. Eastwood going to hold on to it towards the center there, and that shot not able to get let go by Jack Nickel. Nickel's just a problem gathering that one in. Of course, I don't think he was really trying to. He was trying to get that one off with what you would call a quick stick here. 12:58 to go now in this first period. The Outlaws working with the ball here once again in the Rebel zone. Carter Grace going to pass that one off now to the left shooter position. Fed back to the center. Weatherby working with it. Going to let that shot go, and it goes high and wide. Another opportunity there, and comes out into the 24 loose once again. 12:40 to go now in the first period. It looks like it's going to be Outlaws ball is what the referees are signaling. They'll start with it behind the net now. 3-0 is your score again for the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. Is moving the ball out all the way to the point are the Outlaws. Brennan Schaff has it now, going to enter in the 24 all by himself, but going to get turned back quickly there. Back up to the point now. A long shot ripped on net, and that one saved nicely there by Lukowski, and he's going to make the stretch pass, and the Rebels trying to take off with some speed here. Ball loose, picked up nicely, cutting in all alone. That shot goes wide of the net, but recovered by the Rebels here once again. Tuck jersey up, you can see the kidney pads, but it comes down to the corner on that pass. Trying to recover once again is Fort Saskatchewan. It's a 3-on-2 battle for this loose ball, and it's going to get picked up by the Outlaws. Sutherland tried to find some space, had to turn back, and now does move it up along the left wing of the floor, and across center are the Outlaws. Poulsen, he's going to stop up with it here and leave that ball now over for Brennan Schaff. Schaff brings it to the left shooter position, going to cut around his defender to the center now there. A nice give-and-go opportunity, but shot just wide by the Outlaws once again. They're getting the opportunities from the outside, but hitting the net been a problem so far for Beaumont. Is held to the outside once again, and this is going to do it for the shot clock. Is a nice hit there in the middle by Davin Bajema. And it looks like it may have been the Outlaws' goal there as they head to the box looking for confirmation here, as I didn't see the direct signal. Kind of a tight play in close towards the net. Still being talked over here, but indeed that was the case. My apologies for missing that, folks. In tight, and I didn't quite see the signal, but 3-1 for the Rebels, sorry, is what your score is now. Back within 2 are the Beaumont Outlaws. 11:31 to go in this first period. Conversations going down at the Beaumont bench between referee and coaches. Back at the center once again. Simonson going to step in to take this for the Rebels. A clean win there, almost taken away quickly by the Outlaws, and now they actually do get it. Nice feed to the center there, and not able to bring it in was Marcus Hildebrand, but a great opportunity there for the Outlaws. Now the Rebels going to head back down the floor to try to grab one themselves. Along the right wing now. Rebels trying to slow this game down. Still 20 seconds to work with on the shot clock. As a shot from the outside there, saved nicely by Reed McLeod. Recovered in the crease by the Outlaws as they head up the floor. Once again, it's Wyatt Poulsen with it. Poulsen going to hold on to it. Feed that one over to the left wing for Tompkins. Tompkins with the ball now. Fed to the point here. Schaff feeds it over to the right side of the floor. Cut towards the center here. Shot on net there, and another save from Hunter Lukowski. Keeps his team up by 2 as he's not afraid to step out of his crease. Once again, a bobbled pass there. The Rebels trying to recover it here, and now they do. It's Mullen Eastwood who feeds that to the right wing, but that pass off. Looks like we're going to have an Outlaws penalty upcoming here. Look to be a slashing call, and I think this time it's just going to be the Outlaws headed to the box. It's Connor Turner going for them. 2 minutes for slashing with 10:33 to go in the first, and the Rebels now headed to their first official power play. This Rebels power play is brought to you by Smith Insurance Services. They aren't here to sell you insurance. They are here to help you buy it. Looks like the extra may be assessed here to Connor Turner, who's been sent off the floor, and in to replace him into the box is Joshua Booth. I did think I heard the referee call for 14, and now there's going to be a bench minor teed up here as well. So it looks like maybe the Rebels going to have the ability to go 2 men up here as now another man heads to serve this penalty as well. So 5-on-3 is what the Rebels are going to be up with, an opportunity to extend their lead here over the Outlaws with 10:33 to go in the first period. They already lead it 3-1 over Beaumont, but the more cushion you have, the better. No time like the present to do so. I know it's only halfway through the first period, but it's the goals you get now that can pay dividends later. As going to start at the point with the ball is Jackson Baker for the Rebels. Still trying to figure out the score clock here at the Moyer Recreation Center here in Josephburg. The Rebels typically would play out of the Jubilee Recreation Center in Fort Saskatchewan, but under renovation is the JRC. So this is going to be the Rebels' makeshift home for the 2024 season. Still getting a good turnout here in Josephsburg are the Rebels, though, as continuing to wait around, replaced at the point now with Ben Renault. Renault's going to start with the ball here for the Rebels on this 5-on-3 power play, as now the penalties are both up on the clock, and we are underway. Renault, he's going to feed that one over to left wing for Manning. Manning down to the corner and gets the return feed now. Manning all the way across the floor, down to the corner, and the quick stick attempt ends up just wide as another shot towards the net there. That one squeaks through, and they score early on the power play. The Rebels make it 4-1 and reestablishing that 3-goal lead. So that's going to wipe out one of the power plays here, but still going to be up one man are the Rebels for another minute and 45 seconds as we'll start here at center once again, just as you'll usually see. CROW LAX Simonson going to step in to take this draw for the Rebels up against Jacob Goodrow. Interesting setup there for Simonson. It's actually something typical you'd see of many drawmen, is to not have any shooter strings in his stick. At least from my point of view here, usually you'll see at least 2, sometimes 3 in most ball-carrying players' setups, but interesting position to be the face-off man on a lacrosse team. Growing up, tried it myself. Can't say I was too talented at it, but nonetheless, that's why they picked Simonson up, is because he is. 10:18 to go now in the first. 4-1 is your lead for the Rebels. Not quite up on the clock yet, but nonetheless, I'm sure it'll get there. Is Scrimshaw going to pass that one off and go for a change to get the offense out on the board? I should say the power play out on the floor here for the Rebels. Jackson Baker going to pass that one off nicely to Simonson. Simonson back to Baker. Cross feed now. Manning back to Baker, down to Simonson. Simonson back to Baker now. He's going to fake the shot there and feed that all the way to the corner. Another cross feed pass there, and not able to be connected on there by CROW LAX Simonson. Still with the ball now, the Rebels. A nice shot on net there and a big save by Reed McLeod. Lost it in his pads momentarily, but nonetheless picked up by the Outlaws. 1:05 to go on the penalty kill for them. 9:35 to go in this first period. Up to the point now, fed nicely to Preston Stewart. Pass that down to the corner as the Outlaws continue to kill time off this Rebels power play. 15 seconds for them to go on the shot clock as well. Up at the point now, Maloney. He's holding on to it and will feed it down to the corner. It's Carter Grace down there working with the ball. Gets sent down to the floor, and the Rebels able to recover and looking to work their way back up the floor now. Simonson, he has it. Feeds that one nicely up to the point for Kohut. Kohut back to Simonson as he finds his way down to the right corner now, looking to try to maybe move kind of that X position behind the goaltender. Is back up to the point now. Big shot hits square in the chest of Reed McLeod, and that's going to get the play blown dead momentarily. And here come the Outlaws breaking out once again. 8:50 to go now in the first period. Only 16 seconds to go on this Rebels power play as they quickly get this ball back, bring it over center, and we're back underway in the Outlaws zone once again. Simonson feeds that one to the point. Baker hits him with the return feed. Simonson with the submarine shot there, and that nailed the post and ended up out of play. So this will remain Rebels ball. But, folks, we are back 5-on-5 in this first period. About 8.5 to go as it's Rebels ball down in the right corner. A fresh shot clock to go is fed straight to the center there, and trying to cut in was Tyler Manning. Couldn't quite grab that pass out of the air, and it's going to be the Outlaws headed back now with some speed. Here comes Beaumont. Weatherby going to stop up, wait for his offense to get out on the floor, and going to pass off now to Tompkins. Tompkins holding on to it, looking for his team to set up the pick for him. His pass just went high and wide there of Grayson Maloney, but able to recover it now and feed it back up to the point for Grace. Grace going to let his shot go, and that one goes kind of high and wide just around Hunter Lukaweski. Is now the Rebels trying to move with some speed back the other way. Here comes Matthew Vetch in transition. He scores! Matthew Vetch had a couple last week. Why not make it another one this week? 5-1. The Rebels lead the Beaumont Outlaws here in the first period. 8:10 to go in the first. Going to get set at the center draw here once again. Simonson step in to take it here against Grayson Maloney. Battle for it here. Simonson trying to steal this one away. Fed over to the left wing now. Eastwood, he's going to hold on to it and kind of stop up as the rest of the players get out onto the floor. Now fed up to the point for Baker. Baker going to hold on to it, look for his best passing option here as he comes to the right shooter position, tries to make a cut towards the center, now finds a lane. Baker in all alone, trying to let that one go, and it just ends up wide of the right post and dribbles in behind. The Rebels trying to recover here as a bouncing ball just misses the beams there of the roof, staying in play, and now stick slapped out of the hand there of Peyton Cook, and that's going to allow the Rebels to pick back up. No over and back as Cook did have a touch on that ball, is now play going to be blown dead, and play blown dead. It's going to be Outlaws ball now. It was a fast break for the Rebels, but even if put in the back of the net would not have counted as we get set once again. Stewart now. He's going to put that one up to the point. Passing around the outside once again are the Outlaws and quickly stolen away by the Rebels, but having some trouble breaking up the floor here is Rylan Walsh. Walsh still with it now. Does get defended there, and it's going to be a penalty upcoming here. A slash to the Outlaws. Or sorry, maybe that's a hold that was signaled there, and indeed that's the case. Holding signaled there against Grayson Maloney, and that's going to send the Rebels back to the power play, already leading this contest by 4. This Rebels power play is brought to you by Smith Insurance Services. They aren't here to sell you insurance. They are here to help you buy it as we are back set to play once again. Baker going to start with it at the point, feeds that one over to the left shooter and gets a return feed at the top. A little bit of pass being played right now with Tyler Manning, as you'll see on many starts to the power plays here at the Junior B level, as Manning going to let that shot go, and it goes off of Reed McLeod and up into the ceiling. So called Rebels ball here as Simonson going to start with it in the corner. Back up to the point now for Baker. Baker going to feed that one to Manning. Manning down to the corner there, using his man at the shooter position this time, is up at the point trying to find a lane here was Jackson Baker, but loose ball now as the Outlaws trying to recover in their own zone, and they do now. Jenna Snyder, she is the ball. She'll cross half here, enters in along the left wing. 6.5 to go now in this first period. 1:18 to go in this Rebels power play as she feeds that one up to the point now, hitting the stick of Brendan Schaff, who's going to continue to kill off this penalty here for the Outlaws, finding his way around, hitting the passes. His ball moved now to Carter Grace. Grace towards the center, tried to let a shot go, and I don't think it found its way all the way to the goaltender, Lukoweski. Is Vetch now going to feed that one up along the right wing for Reese Walsh, who's going to stop up, wait for the power play to get out, leaves it on the floor, and picked up by the Rebels once again. Back up to the point now. Jackson Baker, he's going to work with it. Baker to the left wing. Hits Manning. Manning and Baker looking to play some pass using the right side of the floor now as well. Are the Rebels as Baker down to the corner. Getting some movement now as that looked to have caught a piece of defender, and off the back glass, a loose ball once again. 3 seconds to go on the shot clock for the Rebels is now recovered by the Outlaws as they head back out the other way. Weatherby, he has it along the left. Under 30 seconds to go now on this Rebels power play. Is Weatherby going to hold up, not feeling any pressure right now, so utilizing his time. Just a little more time on the shot clock, then the penalty kill. 2 seconds is your difference as this ball fed to the center. They score, making the shorthanded goal for Carter Grace, his first of this contest. And it's the Outlaws that are back within 3, not trailing too far behind the Rebels in this first period. 5:23 to go. Cale Owen, he's going to step in to take this draw, this time for the Rebels, up against Jacob Goodrow for the Outlaws. Getting set here again. This ball is going to come out loose, going to be recovered by Fort Saskatchewan as they're looking to head up the floor here once again. Up at the point now, the Rebels do have it. Kohut fed that over to the left there for Joe Levette. Joe Levette up to the point, back trying to hit Kohut once again. Dangerous of coming across the floor, and they are going to call that over and back on Kohut. That's referee Blake Petrushko out there making that call close on the line. 4:53 to go now in the first. Is down in the corner. The Outlaws going to start wheeling around the Rebels net. Wyatt Polson trying to utilize that extra space. The Outlaws had a bit of trouble so far cutting through the middle. Of course, until that shorthanded goal from Carter Grace. That one, the perfect definition of a cut here in the game of lacrosse. This one fed all the way up along the floor here by the Rebels goaltender, Hunter Lukoweski, but going to be turned over to the Outlaws on a whistle here as they try to break in quickly. The choke feed down there into Brett Murray's stick, but a little by his hip, not able to totally gather that one in, but has recovered now, back up to the point for the goal scorer, Carter Grace. Grace going to feed that one over to the left wing now, 4:13 to go in this first period as the shot from way outside going to be stopped easily by Hunter Lukoweski. Feeds it back to the corner and trying to move up along the right wing of the floor here once again are the Rebels. Matthew Vetch, he's got it. Already has a goal in this contest. I'm going to leave that there at the blue line and head off the floor. Cross floor feed now for Cale Owen. Owen back down to the corner. Tyler Manning couldn't quite gather in that pass, but Joe Levette there to help him. Fies Manning once again, but just couldn't quite get that shot off, and the shot clock going to expire here and be picked up by the Outlaws once again as Peyton Cook now crosses the center line. 3.5 to go in this first period. In along the left wing, Eric Tompkins going to skate back to the point. His pass just a little off there, but trying to recover it are the Outlaws once again. Going to get picked up nicely here, though, by Jack Nickel. Nickel looking for an option. Tried to feed it to the right there. Kind of in a little scoop pass for Matthew Vetch, but out of his reach and now picked up by the Outlaws as Preston Stewart going to head back the other way, looking for a shot. Going to let that go there. And it's going to be a nice save by Lukoweski. Looks like we do have a slashing call upcoming. It looks to be Jack Nickel headed to the box for the Rebels. And this is going to be the first penalty kill of the game for Saskatchewan. And this penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional service. Starting at the point here with the ball for the Outlaws is going to be Brett Murray. Players still getting set up for the Rebels here. It looks like they only have 3 men out on the floor. Sorry, my view blocked a little bit. It is 4. Is now this power play underway for the Outlaws. About 1:53 remaining in it as we creep under 3 minutes to go in this first period. Carter Grace helping wheel this ball around. He has it now and throws that one back to the point for Murray. Murray feeds to left wing now. That shot looked to have caught a piece of the post there. Going to give it a little rub, I'm sure, is Lukoweski, as here come the Rebels back the other way. Ashton Johnson going to spin around, utilize this entire shot clock, hopefully for the Rebels. 1.5 to go on the Outlaws power play as the Rebels continue to move this ball around. Holding on to it now is Jackson Baker. Baker, just a little rainbow pass into the middle there for Simonson. Couldn't quite gather it in, but has recovered it now. Simonson takes a couple big hits along the board there, and a nice slash from him, and that's going to definitely send them to the box. And it looks like the Rebels going to be down another man here. Simonson going to be headed to the box for slashing. 2:15 to go in the first, and a great opportunity for the Outlaws to bring this back within 2. If they're able to score in this next minute 7, they'll still be on an extended power play here. Some more shouting coming from the Outlaws bench. Referee having conversation. Going to want to be careful are the Outlaws, or they could possibly see another bench minor penalty upcoming. As now play is going to be blown in as Jackson Weatherby passes that down. 5-on-3 is where we sit currently, playing the reverse triangle are the Rebels, and it doesn't pan out that time, as able to put that one away for the Outlaws is Eric Tompkins, and went exactly to plan there for Beaumont, as they're still going to be on the power play for another 1:51 and only trailing this game by 2. 5-3 is your score in the favor of the home side Rebels, but creeping back into this one are the Beaumont Outlaws. Stepping in to take this draw now for them is Jacob Goodrow. Getting set now in that center dot. Cale Owen going to be across from him, trying to win this for his side as well. Still trying to fix the shot clock here is the purpose of your delay, but now we're back underway. Going to get pulled out of that face-off circle by Cale Owen, brought in front of the Rebels bench here as a loose ball battle ensues. A scrum is what I would call it. It's going to be the Rebels who come away with it. Passed up the floor now by Cale Owen. Using their speed to move around the floor here is Longmire. Still with it. 1:40 to go in the period, 1:26 in this Outlaws power play as Longmire continues to utilize this shot clock to kill off this penalty. 3 seconds to go in it now. He's going to throw that ball away. It's going to be recovered by the Outlaws as they move up the speed now. Up the floor now. It's Hildebrand. He's going to pass that one off nicely to Carter Grace. Grace going to slow this power play down now. About a minute to go here for the Outlaws. 18 seconds on the shot clock as Grace, looking for his passing options, goes over to the left shooter there for Tompkins. Tompkins down to the corner and gets a return feed now. Tompkins looking for his options. Feeds that to the corner. That's where they scored off to start that 5-on-3. Back up to the point. Tompkins gets it once again. A little low shot. Dribbles in. They score. 5-4 is your score as the Outlaws creeping back into this one more and more. Second of the game for Tompkins. Score not correct on the score clock here at the Moyer Recreation Center. 58 seconds to go in the period. Referees holding off play here is giving the timekeepers an opportunity to get this one settled. Penalty should come off the board as we'll be back 5-on-5 now. 5-2 still showing on the score clock. But it is 5-4 to my understanding as the captain, Scrimshaw, going to come up with that ball out of the face-off draw. Tried to feed that all the way down the floor there for Eastwood, but just couldn't quite gather in that pass as Eastwood almost came away with it there, but Hildebrand there to steal it quicker and gets cross center here as now the Outlaws look for another possession here before the end of the first period. 35 seconds to go. Eastwood looking for his options, trying to get deeper into the zone. He does now, still feeling some pressure here nicely by Jack Nickel, who's getting out, giving him the taps and the cross checks, but now up to the point for Carter Grace. Grace going to move that down to the right corner and bringing it back out to the shooter position is Grayson Maloney, still trying to find his way around his defender. He does it now and he scores at the tie game. 14.8 to go in the first, and the Outlaws have brought this game to 5-5. It was a hot start for the Rebels. Been dropped off now by the Outlaws. Only 14.8 seconds to go. We're going to start at center here once again. We got ourselves a ball game here, folks. It's nearing the end of the first period. Tie game, and it's looking like it's going to be a good one here. Still 40 minutes to go. 44 and 14 seconds, I should say, is set in the center once again is Simonson for the Rebels. He's going to come up with it out of the draw there. Timeout called by the Rebels. Possibly looking to maybe do what is a popular system here towards the end of a period when you know that you got more time than the shot clock is. You may see the goaltender pulled here by the Rebels to get the extra man on the floor and give them an opportunity to put something away here in the dying seconds of the first period. We'll see if that does turn out to be the game plan. Of course, I'm trying to play profit here. Of course, it may not pan out. 15 seconds to go on this timeout for Fort Saskatchewan. Captain Scrimshaw ringing in the troops here now with his helmet off. It's going to be the offense headed on the floor for the Rebels. Had the pleasure of playing with Mr. Scrimshaw for most of my minor lacrosse years. Was always one of the better guys on the team, and that would be why he's wearing a C now in junior lacrosse. Baker going to start with this ball at the point. You do see the empty net now for the Rebels, so 6-on-5 here with 8 seconds to go in the period as this one gets fed out. Rebels looking for an option. That shot from the point just goes high and wide, and it's going to be the turnover for the Outlaws as 2 seconds to go now. That ball just ends up wide. Trying to play a little bit of goalie there was Mullen Eastwood. But at the end of this period here, I do want to remind you about CROW LAX TV and the RMLL Junior B Tier 1 Division are proud to be supporting the Chris Latondra Wellness Foundation and the Canadian Mental Health Association to implement their Talk Today program. In 2020, a beloved player of the game to many in the North Division, Chris Latondra, died by suicide at age 25 while battling mental health issues. The Chris Latondra Wellness Foundation was formed in 2021 to preserve his memory and call the lacrosse community to action in support of mental health in the game of lacrosse and beyond. Donations can be made to this fund is you can visit our social media channels for a direct link at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. 5-5 is your score following the conclusion of this first period between the Outlaws and the Rebels. Again, my name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Eric Kraus is on the camera, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes with your middle frame. Welcome back live here on CROW LAX TV. My name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Eric Krause is on the camera and his lovely wife running the score clock for you for this game today between the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and the Beaumont Outlaws. It's 5-5 after 20 minutes between these two squads. As you know from your screen at home, it's the Rebels who are the home side here at the Moyer Recreation Center in the beautiful Josephsburg, just outside of Fort Saskatchewan. Still waiting to get totally underway here. There's a helmet sitting by the penalty box here as well. The referees, the ones late to the party this time around, with a couple stick taps coming from the players to let them know that they're ready to go, but they need some referees to call this contest. Fresh 20 minutes on the docket. Your score clock here, if you're listening in the first period, was a little out of whack, but now we're all set to go here in the middle frame. 5-5 is what it shows there. 5-5 is what it shows for you at home. And let's get set for some more lacrosse here in the middle. It's Calix Simonson in to take this draw up against Jacob Goodrow. We have switched sides here. It's going to be the Rebels moving broadcast left to right this time for you at home. Scrimshaw trying to pick up this loose ball. Does get it now for the Rebels. Crosses half and looks to pursue this ball up the floor, feeding that one right off the bench there to Jackson Baker, who has it now. Going to wheel that back up towards to the right. Shooter tried to hit his man at the point in Simonson. Simonson able to recover this one now. Shot from Simonson there just goes wide off the end boards and into the ceiling, so that's going to cause the turnover of the ball. It's going to be Outlaws' ball as they look to head up the floor here. Cale Owen going to bring it in along the right side and stop up, feed that down to the corner. Grace, he has it now. Grace working with it here. My apologies, that was Wyatt Polson getting my Rebels and Outlaws mixed up here, but nonetheless, it's the Outlaws with the ball. Is at the point now. Grace, he has it, looking for a shot option, just going to let that one go, and it ends up wide, still with 25 seconds on the shot clock as they did get the reset, did the Outlaws. Fed cross field now over for Tompkins. Tompkins lost his handle on the ball there momentarily, but now with it here. Tompkins still playing with it now, up to the point for Carter. Grace is his shot, just goes wide. That's not going to get a reset. 5 seconds to go here on the shot clock. And now it's going to get picked up behind their own net by Ryan McBride for the Rebels. McBride moving his way up the floor, feeds that one over to the right side. Now coming off the bench is Simonson. Simonson, a nice pass there, feeding that one all the way over. The Rebels with it. That's some eyes there. The man hiding in the defense, still able to hit it, and off the post, and another opportunity there, stopped by Reed McLeod. And call it a double whammy that time. 8:15 to go in the second period as the Outlaws look to head back up off the floor after an electrifying couple saves from Reed McLeod. But the Rebels trying to push it back the other way now themselves. It's a breakaway opportunity, and they score. Reese Walsh puts the Rebels back in the lead, 6-5, 18:04 to go in this second period as the celebration commences for Fort Saskatchewan. Only momentarily, though, as we're going to get set back at center here. Once again, the Rebels coming out in the middle frame with the confidence. As you know, they did have a 4-goal lead early in the first period, but came all the way back, did the Outlaws in that initial frame to tie it up, but score spread out here. Once again, this time only by 1, as it's going to be Simonson who steps in to take this draw once again up against Grayson Maloney. Simonson, he comes away with it, tries to feed that one down, knocked out of the air nicely there by Wyatt Polson, who runs in along the right wing and now across the center line. Polson scanning the floor, looking for his options here. Going to feed that one all the way up to the point nicely for Brett Murray. Murray going to feed that back down to the corner now for Dickett. Dickett towards the top. Gives that one up there for Stewart. Stewart looking for an option. Found that ball to the center and a shot towards Lukoweski there. Going to be stopped by him and tossed off to the defense now as here come the Rebels back up to the floor. It's Ben Renault. Renault across center there, slips up, trips on the center line, I should say, as Renault now going to drop that one down to the corner. The Rebels back to the point there, and another shot and a save there by Reed McLeod. On fire here in these last couple of possessions. The Rebels wheel around here once again. Manning all the way around the back of the net and back up to the point. This one going to get fed to the top center now for Eastwood. Eastwood on his wrong side of the floor here, as you may be confused, but you want to kind of be right hand to the middle, left hand to the middle always if you're playing the sport of lacrosse. Leaves the net the most open for you as Outlaws back the other way. A shot opportunity on net, and they have tied it here. Once again, I thought I saw the net move there, but play blown dead as it's stuck in the pads here of Lukoweski. The conversation continuing. He's searching for it himself, not sure where it is to be found. Thought I saw the wave of the net here, but it does come out of the back padding here. I want to say maybe this one ended up in there after the ball crossing the goal line, at least from my viewpoint. The conversation continues to ensue here. Scrimshaw out having conversation with the referee here. It looks like we actually have a penalty call upcoming here, and it looks like it's going to be Jackson Baker headed to the box to serve this one for the Rebels. So 6-5 is going to remain your score in favor of Fort Saskatchewan. My apologies for the false trigger there. Nonetheless, headed to the penalty kill are the Rebels, and this penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional customer service. Outlaws here in the Rebels zone, up to the point, fed over now by Brett Murray, playing a little bit of pass here with Carter Grace. Is fed crossfield there momentarily for Eric Tompkins. Shot towards the net there, and a nice right shoulder save by Lukoweski. And fed up the center now. Here come the Rebels back up the floor once again. Ashton Johnson tried to feed that one over to Matthew Betch. We do have a penalty upcoming here. It's going to be the Rebels who are going to get another one here. Too many men is what's going to be assessed to Fort Saskatchewan here. 1:28 to go in the initial penalty to the Rebels, and this is going to put them down now. 5-on-3 is headed to serve it for them. It's going to be Jack Nickel, and we'll get set back at the point for the Outlaws once again. It looks like it's going to be Jacob Goodrow to start with this ball at the top, and another opportunity for the Outlaws to tie this game up 6-6. They've been able to come back from way deeper leads in this game so far. One goal shouldn't seem like all that big of a hill to climb to them here. They know they can do it. Let's see if they can make something happen here on this 5-on-3 power play. 1:25 to work 2 men up here. Is this ball going to get passed over nicely to Tompkins? Tompkins going to feed that quick in there, and that one just not able to get on net on the quick stick there from Maloney. Back up to the point. Tompkins now tried to rip that one short side. Goes off the top of the shoulder of Lukaweski. Recovered by the Outlaws once again with a fresh shot clock. Up to the point for Grace. Grace down to the corner. Now fed over nicely to Tompkins. Tompkins cross-ice feed once again there and stopped up by Lukaweski. And I will get the ice out of my vocabulary. It's a floor we're playing on here, folks. It's in along the left wing. Here come the Rebels once again trying to kill off some more time. Ben Renault, he has it. 15:40 to go in the second period. 43 seconds to go. 2 men up here for the Outlaws. They have a quick break. Here comes the Outlaws in all alone, and that's a nice elbow save there by Lukaweski. Comes in along the right wing now. Reset of the shot clock. That pass got away there from Wyatt Polson up into the ceiling. So that's going to turn it over to the Rebels here. Still 26 seconds. 2 men up for the Outlaws. And then they'll have about another 30 seconds or so to go. Up 5-on-4. Scrimshaw continues to rag this ball here for his side. Showing a little bit of grit here is Miller Scrimshaw as he gets pinned up along the board. Still with the ball. Seemed to have caught a stick up in the face there. The little jolt back of the head. Now it's going to be the Outlaws are able to pick that one up. Snyder throws that one across the floor. Expiration of the 5-on-3. Now ensues the 5-on-4. 30 seconds to work with here for the Outlaws. Going to be stolen away by Matthew Vetch. Vetch looking to head up along the floor here along the left wing. He's trying to kill it off. Gets that ball knocked out of his stick by Carter Grace. The loose ball battle ensues. Here's Vetch now going to get in all alone. Vetch lets that one go. He scores. 17 seconds to go, short-handed still, and the Rebels have increased their lead, but to 2 goals here once again. 7-5 now is your score as Vetch gets his second goal of the contest. 2 last week, 2 this week. Matthew Vetch likes to work in pairs as he's got 4 goals on the season for himself here. So we're going to get set at the center here once again. Vetch, another one of those players that I got to play many of my minor lacrosse years with. And again, one of the better players, and that's why you see him in the position he is today. Is able to come up with that draw is Calix Simonson as he's looking for an option. Still shorthanded for another 10 seconds are the Rebels. You might not have believed it as they did just put one away, but that being a shorthanded goal for them. There is now a dive across the crease there from Calix Simonson to no avail. That time is a little better is Reed McLeod on that opportunity. Battle for the ball continuing here. I could have possibly foresaw a loose ball push getting called there and getting the ball turned over, but nonetheless not happening. We're back 5-on-5, and that is going to be the loose ball foul that time by the Rebels. That hit laid by Mullen Eastwood. That allows the Outlaws to pick up and head this ball back across center once again. Carter Grace with it in along the right side of the floor, looking for his shot lane here. Nice swim move from him, still with his handle on the ball, getting the big body there from Teej Brown. Brown, one of the bigger boys out there on the floor. I know I'd be scared if I was lining up against him on offense as the Outlaws, they got it once again outside the 24. Nice shot there and a nice save by Lukaweski. Closing up the legs there and getting that one in the stick is now a stretch feed all the way up the floor, trying to hit the man coming off the bench in Jackson Baker, but couldn't make it happen. 13:35 to go now in this second period as Jenna Snyder tried to move that up the floor. Stolen away nicely there by Teej Brown. Brown to the middle, they score! The Rebels make the passing play work that time around, and Jackson Baker's got himself on the board in this contest, and it's now a 3-goal lead for the Rebels. Call it deja vu as the start of this period has gone just as well for Fort Saskatchewan. 13:29 to go in the second period, and oh my, what a goal and what a lead for the Rebels. They're playing with some confidence out there on the floor right now as we're going to get set back at center here once again. Simonson going to step in up against Jacob Goodrow. Let's see who comes up with this face-off battle in the middle this time around. Loose ball coming out of that draw. It's going to be the Outlaws who recover it here, and they'll have the first possession. The step over center there looked to be from Kai Ellis, but the referee's not calling the over and back on him that time around, as he's going to feed that down to the corner now for Dickin. Dickin back up for Cohen Sutherland. Sutherland going to hold on to it momentarily. Still 14 seconds to work with on the shot clock here for the Outlaws. Is to the center now, and that one not able to get picked up there, but Brandon Schaff able to step in. Brennan Schaff, my apologies, as the loose ball battle continues to ensue. No possession from the Rebels yet, so it won't get a reset of the shot clock, but now it's going to be Rebels ball. Ashton Johnson, he's looking up the floor, going to come up along the left side, cross center, and feed that one into the left shooter position. Now this one thrown all the way across floor by the Rebels, who have not been afraid to make those long passes so far in this contest, and it's paid dividends to them so far, spreading out the floor and making some open space in the middle. Is this one to the center once again, and that one not able to get picked up by Tyler Manning. That pass kind of at his hip. Those ones a little hard to gather in. 12:24 to go now in the second period, as it's going to be the Outlaws moving back up the floor here once again. Joshua Booth, he brings it in along the right wing, feeling a pressure from two Rebels, as the Outlaws not quick to get out on the floor on that transition change there, and the big hit laid there onto Preston Stewart, sending him to the floor. But the Outlaws with the ball now, still 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock here. Maloney trying to cut his way towards the center, going to have to spin back, tried to put it up to the point for Carter Grace, who now just had to scoop that one into the corner at the expiration of the shot clock. The Rebels going to be able to pick it up now, and Rylan Walsh going to nonchalantly bring this one across the center line. Ensuing the contact there from Peyton Cook, actually welcoming it here is Rylan Walsh, and now going to toss this one off to Calix Simonson. 11:40 to go in the second period. The Rebels still leading this contest 8-5, as Simonson now looked to have caught a stick up in the face mask. It's going to be no penalty upcoming, though, as the pass down to the creaseman there, not able to be gathered in, broken up nicely by Jackson Weatherby. Loose ball push, gonna give this ball over to the Outlaws as they'll look to head up the floor once again. Now coming in along the right wing, it's Weatherby. Weatherby finds his way around his first defender with the pick help there nicely by Carter Dickin. Weatherby now does take a big hit and gets pinned up along the boards there by Riley Longmire. Outlaws still with possession. A bobbled ball now down loose, but picked up nicely there by Eric Tompkins. Tompkins still with it now. 7 seconds to work with. That shot goes off the right shoulder there of Luka Weski, and it's going to be the Rebels who have recovered this ball now and bringing it across the center nicely is Teej Brown. Brown feeling some pressure up high. The Outlaws doing a better job so far in the second period, I've noticed, of putting the pressure on the Rebels as they cross half, not allowing them to get as well set up as they have been so far through the first period, and now almost the halfway mark of this second as the battle ensues at the point of the crease here, and now a loose ball push, and this is going to ensue some rough stuff here. Looks like we're going to have a man sent to the floor. Kai Ellis, the man rolling around, and we'll see if there's any penalties upcoming out of this scrum this time down in the Outlaw zone. It doesn't look like it. It's just going to be Outlaws ball. They're going to start from their own crease here, fed right up the middle, stolen away quickly by the Rebels there, and shot on net just went wide. Sometimes when you have a good as an opportunity as that, you kind of get a little stressed. I know I would, and that one misses the net as Goodrow brings it across half. Tried to feed that to the center lightly for Maloney, but it's going to be over and back and come back the other way. The Rebels shot on net and a save there by Reed McLeod, but the play was initially blown dead there. It's still going to be Rebels ball down in the Outlaws zone, but I don't think that goal would have counted had it hit the back of the net anyway, so probably better it didn't, so we don't have to ensue that debate as well. We can just keep the lacrosse rolling here. 10:19 to go in the second period. Ball fed up to the left shooter position for Manning. He goes cross floor now for Jackson Baker. Baker, he has it to the center now. That shot on net and a big save there by Reed McLeod. 10 minutes to go now in the second as the Rebels going to dump that one back. The no-look pass connects. There's Simonson. He has it. Still 30 fresh the shot clock not running here. Now ensued. 28 seconds, what they're saying the Rebels have is sent to the floor there on the big hit was Jackson Kohut, but they're going to score, and the Rebels have gotten their 4-goal lead back. They surrendered it towards the end of the first, but have come out in the second with a mission, and putting away that shot is for Saskatchewan, and 9-5 is now their lead over the Beaumont Outlaws. 9:50 to go in the second period. We're going to get set at center here once again. There was a penalty upcoming to the Outlaws. The cross-check is what the call was, but referee signaling that has been wiped out now due to the goal by Fort Saskatchewan. So back in center once again, it's going to be a similar matchup between Simonson and Jacob Goodrow. Still some debate going on between the referees out there, but now the thumbs up is signaled. So we're going to get set back to lacrosse here once again. It's going to be Goodrow who comes up with that face-off that time. He's had some struggles here against Simonson so far, but not that time around, and that's the win on the face-off book for Goodrow, as now he's able to feed this one down. The Outlaws still with it, playing around with the ball. Back up to the point now for Carter Dickin. Dickin, he's going to feed that to Grace, who assumes that point position now. Back to the left shooter, into the top position now. Grace trying to cut towards the center. He does, and a big save there by Lukaweski. Grace recovered this ball once again. Fresh 30 for the Outlaws. There's another shot in that one wide that time from Grace. Not afraid to let that shot go all night has been Carter Grace. But now the stretch pass there by the Rebels, not able to find its way to Calix Simonson. And that one going to be picked up nicely by Reed McLeod and now tossed off. And here come the Outlaws back up the floor. It's Peyton Cook who has it. Passes that one off, feed to the center. Now a shot on net and a big save there by Lukaweski on Grayson Maloney. Outlaws recover once again. Another fresh 30 as Grace has it. Grace, he feeds that one over. And another shot there and another save on Grayson Maloney. Lukaweski, the better man on both those opportunities. And here come the Rebels back the other way. 8:40 to go in this second period is crossing the center line there was Teej Brown back in the offensive zone. It's Scrimshaw taking the offensive shift. And no, what a save. Oh, my. Reed McLeod. The net was open but got a stick in the way, and that's going to make your highlight reel for the week, and I can guarantee that for sure. Is now fed to the left shooter. Rebels still working with the ball here, and there is a penalty upcoming. It looks like it's a cross-check and the play blown dead on the Rebels' possession, so I'm sure they're going to be headed to the penalty kill here, and indeed, that's going to be the case. Calix Simonson headed to the box for Fort Saskatchewan, and a 2-minute power play upcoming for the Outlaws. And this Rebels penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional customer service. We're getting set at the point. I'm going to remind you once again to be sure to get your weekly CROW LAX TV 50/50 tickets. Tickets on sale now until Monday at 4 p.m. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels for more information at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. Tompkins playing a little pass with his point man right here. Now fed to the other side of the floor, but back to Tompkins once again. The Outlaws some good ball movement here, but not a lot of bodies getting moving. As now that shot from Tompkins goes wide, and he's going to look to recover it here as it does bounce into the bench. And they're saying it caught a piece of the roof, actually, or a piece of a Rebel here, because it's still going to be the Outlaws' ball and a fresh 30 for them to work with here as well as Murray. Fed that to Tompkins. Now over for Grace. Over to Tompkins again. He's looking for his options. Tried to make a cut towards center. Fed Grace. And now the close shot there down in the crease position there for Brennan Schaff, but not able to get that one on net. Rebels trying to recover. Sent to the floor nicely there by Matthew Vetch. Continuing to have that gritty play out there, and 2 goals on the docket for him today. Doing everything all over the floor. Is another save there from Lukaweski. Looks like we got some rough stuff underway here and possibly trying to get the fight going here. But the refs don't want to see that one happen. As it looked to be involved there was Riley Longmire for the Rebels. As well looked to be Brendan Schaff. Still 1:05 to go on this Outlaws power play. But we'll see if that continues here. 7:21 to go in the second period. So possibly getting sent off the floor now. There's 2 Rebels hitting the box now, so we'll see what they put out there for strength on the floors. This is going to ensue a bit of a lull in play, so I'll let you know that CROW LAX TV and the RMLL Junior B Tier 1 Division are proud to be supporting the Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation and the Canadian Mental Health Association to implement their Talk Today program. In 2020, a beloved player of the game to many in the North Division, Chris Letendre died by suicide aged 25 while battling mental health issues. The Chris Letendre Wellness Foundation was formed in 2021 to preserve his memory and call the lacrosse community to action in support of mental health in the game of lacrosse and beyond. You can make donations to the Chris Letendre Foundation, and you can find that link on our social media channels at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. So there is a 5-minute penalty up on the board for the Outlaws side, but an extra added to the Rebels side as well. So my assumption here is we're going to be 4-on-3 unless they're not done putting some penalties up on the board. Remember, the Rebels do lead this one 9-5, 7:21 to go in the second as Captain Scrimshaw in to talk to the referees as well as the pursuing Beaumont player Jacob Goodrow. It's going to be an extended conversation as well, and we're watching a Fort Saskatchewan game, so I may as well let you know to explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Visit their historic downtown, scenic parks, and river valley. Work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Conversations continue here between players and referees. My assumption here is still we're going to be 4-on-3 in favor of the Outlaws. Referees now made their way to the benches as well. Lots of argument coming from the Outlaws bench so far through this contest. Their coach is not afraid to get involved vocally in this contest by any means. Of course, that did result in their bench getting teed up early on in the first period, but it's been all flying colors since then. Obviously, the conversations have got a little friendlier since that point. Referees now talking amongst each other. Of course, I haven't seen the notepad come out from the referees just yet, so obviously not too much to put on the board. As you know, when the notepad comes out, that's when things are getting serious there for the referees, but it's fun to play-by-play ref talks out there for you, as I can't hear what they're talking about necessarily, but I sure can make some assumptions. But, well, I got you. Ears peeled to just me with no lacrosse being played. I'll as well let you know that at Vimy Lacrosse, excellence is the standard. Led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors, they are dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. I'm not sure what the debate is here, really. Still trying to figure some stuff out amongst themselves. Now the referee letting us know what's going on. We got 2 5-minute penalties. That's gonna even us up, and then the extra signal. So wiped out off the board are 2 of the penalties. So only left is the minute 5 that was initially there on the Outlaws power play. Of course, gave me time to check game number 2, or round 2 for the Oilers and the Canucks, and currently a 2-2 tie there. And I appreciate if you're tuning in to me here on CROW LAX opposed to that. That's how we know you're a true fan, and I'm happy you are. As we get set at center here once again, it's going to be the Outlaws who come away with the ball. Grayson Maloney takes a big hit there, and Matthew Vetch going to be able to recover in the Outlaws zone. It looks like we have a cross-checking penalty upcoming to him, though. So Vetch going to be headed to the box. And it looks like now where it's going to be 5-on-3 for the Outlaws, if I assume properly here. Only 3 Rebels out there. And only 4 Outlaws currently. So actually, sorry, the 4-on-3 power play for the Outlaws, which would induce me to tell you that the Rebels penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional customer service. Outlaws successful on their first down 3-man situation in the first period against the Rebels. Fed over now here nicely to Tompkins. Tompkins going to let that one go, and it goes just wide. Shot clock coming to an end here, so Carter Grace just chooses to dump that one down into the corner, but that's going to get the reset of the shot clock, actually. Not sure why, but Grace nonetheless. Backhand pass there nicely behind the back and gets the return feed. Grace going to let that one go, and it goes off the mask there, Luka Weski, but nonetheless made the stop. Call that using your head. 6.5 to go now in the second period as the Rebels try to head up the floor. Stopped up at center. Great defense there by the Outlaws on the penalty kill, and they've recovered this ball. With it is Tompkins. He feeds that now to Grace. Grace back to Tompkins. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock here. Is now fed out to Murray. Murray back to Tompkins, down to the crease and gets the return feed. Playing a lot of pass here are the Outlaws, and now the motion has started here on this power play. Tompkins try to go cross feed. That's going to be stolen away by the Rebels and possibly a shorthanded opportunity. Come back the other way. It's Ben Renault. Renault going to spin. Feed that one off and not able to be gathered in by Jackson Baker. 5:45 to go now in the second. Only 32 seconds on this Outlaws power play. My apologies now. 4-on-4 is what we are. Nope, 5-on-4 is the late man. Does come off in Carter Dickin. Dickin, he has it at the point. Going to feed that one off. Gets the return feed once again. Sorry, actually, that hits the stick of Dickin, actually. As we come down to the corner once again. A lot of ball moving going on from the Outlaws. Dickin lets that go. He scores and gets his team back within 3. 9-6 is your score as the Outlaws bring it back in a little closer. That's going to go down as the power play goal there for Carter Dickin. 5:18 to go in the second. A nice little submarine shot from Dickin. Of course, so commonly named as it comes from the depths up to the heights. And nonetheless, works for Dickin that time around. Back within 3 are the Outlaws. Could we see another late period push from them like we saw in the first period? We're going to find out here soon as we get set at the center of the floor. Once again, it's Simonson in against his familiar matchup today in Jacob Goodrow. More conversations between the referees and the penalty box here. Still 2 men sitting in the box, 1 for either side. Looks like they're calling for another Rebel to the box, and I got to say I'm not quite sure why, but now that has been waved off by the other referee coming in to have the conversation, and we got the official signal of 5-on-5. 5:18 to go in the second period, and now we're underway at center. Looking to come away with that one was Simonson, but the ball just a little too well won by him, and that allowed the Outlaws to pick up, and now to look to head up the floor once again. Weatherby coming in along the left side, going to bring that all the way down to the left shooter position, kind of in between that and the crease position actually, is now he'll feed that one up and cross feed now to Grace. Grace finds an open in the center and tried to let that one go on his little bumper side to Maloney. Nonetheless, Maloney with it now as he recovered that pass. Maloney tried to feed that one down to the crease position for Dickin. Couldn't quite find a stick to hit him, and now at that X position are the Outlaws. They get set again. Another shot there, and that's going to be after the shot clock, says the referee, so going to get picked up by the Rebels. Is Miller Scrimshaw now going to bring that one in across half. Feeds that one nicely over to Jackson Kohut, down to the crease, and behind the net now are the Rebels as well, utilizing that part of the floor, showing they can also do it. 4.5 to go now in this second period. Outlaws able to recover behind their own net, look to head up the floor once again. Sutherland lost the handle, but play blown dead, and giving it back to the Outlaws here once again is now in across half. They look to get set. 4:15 to go now in the second period. With the ball now is Tompkins. He spins on his pursuit and looks to find some options outside. Tompkins to the point, now fed over nicely to Grayson Maloney. Maloney, a little scoop pass, almost stolen away nicely there by Jack Nickel, but loose ball now, and the Rebels look like they're going to get it, and indeed they are. It's Reese Walsh. Steps across center, now along to the right wing. Walsh looking for his options, chooses to feed that one cross floor and hitting his man in Jackson Kohut. Kohut looking for an option, almost had a lane there in the center, but stopped up nicely there by Hildebrandt. Shot towards the net, ended up wide, trying to jump and grab that one out of the air was Manning, but couldn't quite make it happen. We do have a loose ball push. That's going to allow it to be Outlaws' ball here. Is instantly in pursuit are the Rebels, but nonetheless, Jackson Weatherby able to bring that one in along the right side of the floor. Missed hit there by Matthew Vetchel caused him to hit the boards there, but nonetheless, the Outlaws have it. 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Preston Stewart trying to find a lane. Does get one now, but his shot blocked in front. Recovered by the Outlaws once again. Didn't hit the goaltender, so that's not going to be the reset of the shot clock. 3 seconds continuing to wind down. Now the Rebels able to pick it up and moving up with some speed along the right side of the floor. Here comes Ben Renault. Renault now going to spin away to the center, looking for his options. Renault waiting for someone to get open here. Scrimshaw now going to head off the floor. Fed over down to Jackson Kohut. Kohut finds his lane, tried to go short side there, and that one just wide of Reed McLeod that time. Jolivet Fed that one now there to Jackson Baker, and that's the stern save from Reed McLeod. 2.5 to go now in the second period. Is bursting up with some speed. Here come the Outlaws once again. That one fed off nicely to Poulsen. Poulsen just going to nicely scoop past that one to Maloney, who holds on to it now. Not eager to get rolling in the first 15 seconds or so of the shot clock seem to be the Outlaws. Really wait to get set up and then cause their movement. Not really trying to catch the Rebels sleeping by any means. As this feed now to the center. The Rebels trying to get a fast break of their own, but Reese Walsh just going to slow up and wait for his offense to get back out on the floor now. Walsh drops that one off for Kohut. Kohut down to the shooter position now. Circling up. Pass tried to go cross floor, but now going to have to be recovered by the Rebels, and indeed it will be. Tyler Manning with it now. Still 9 seconds to work with on the shot clock here as that's fed to the corner and gets picked up by the Outlaws. Under 2 minutes to go now in the second. Has come back with some speed is Beaumont. Weatherby in all alone. He gets through but chooses not to take the shot. Going to run all the way around the crease and feed that one back up to the point there for Tompkins. Tompkins passes that off here. Nice feed to the center there. Not able to get picked up by Carter Grace. Knocked to the floor. Loose ball push. Still going to be Outlaws ball, and it looks like we may have a penalty upcoming here. I think they may take both. And indeed, that looks like it's going to be the case. So headed to the box for the Rebels is Tease Brown, and on the other side, it's going to be Eric Tompkins. More conversations ensuing between referee, coaches, each other. 4-on-4. Gonna be where it stands to my understanding, but of course, been surprised before in this contest. Wouldn't be surprised if they got me again. Stepping out on the floor now is Ben Renault for the Rebels. Up at the point to start this for the Outlaws is going to be Brett Murray. 4 Rebels out there to 4 Outlaws, so even strength it will be. A lot more open floor out there with minute 26 to go in the second. This 4-on-4 will outlast this middle frame. A little bit of mop action from the captain, Scrimshaw there. Not only good with a lacrosse stick, but he's able to handle himself a mop pretty well. And that's what defines a captain. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for his team's success out there on the floor. Again, a minute 26 to go in the second is now Matthew Vetch with the rag out there trying to make sure he can wipe that up as well. 2 goals in this contest, also showing he's multifaceted, is Matthew Vetch. Again, I'll remind you to be sure to get your weekly CROW LAX TV 50/50 tickets. Tickets are on sale until Monday at 4 p.m. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels for more information at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. 9-6 is your score here in favor of the Rebels. We're up 4 at one point in this period as they were in the first, but able to draw it back in closer once again were the Outlaws. Never say die to the Beaumont Outlaws as we continue on here once again. Lots of lulls in play here and a lot of you listening to me continue to ramble on. 2 minutes on either side is assessed. 4-on-4 is what we're going to play here. A lot of open space out there for both sides to work with. Is with it now is Grace. Grace fed that one along and is going to get picked up by Stewart. Stewart going to use his man coming up from the crease position and fed up again here. It looks to be Grace with it. Loving that swim move today, and it's allowed him to evade a couple defenders and now made that pass off to Murray, who's going to escape back behind the net, find a man in Stewart. Stewart going to let that one go there, and a nice save by Hunter Lukaweski. And the Rebels have it in their own crease and look to move it up the floor. Last minute of play in the second period is underway here as the Rebels have crossed center. Bajema going to feed that one off nicely for Eastwood as he's going to bring that one over to the left side of the floor. Eastwood working with it now, using his head to kind of direct traffic here. 4-on-4, still a minute 11 to go in this and 35 seconds to go in the second period as the behind the back attempted pass there by Jackson Baker. Couldn't find a connection, and here come back the Outlaws with some speed. Wyatt Poulsen, he holds on to it. Up to the point now, finds a man in Dickin. Dickin going to drag it out, turn around, and look for his options. Not a lot of time to work with. 17 seconds on the clock and on the time clock, and the score clock is still working with it are the Outlaws. They essentially got till the end of the period here. Fed over now, a shot towards the net, a bounce shot attempted there on Luka Weski, and that one doesn't even catch a piece of the pads. Outlaws still working with it now, period almost at its close, and that's going to do it for your middle frame. After 40 minutes, it's the Rebels that lead this contest, 9-6 over the Beaumont Outlaws. Again, my name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Eric Krause is running the camera, and his wife, of course, updating your score for us as well. Thank you for listening on CROW LAX TV. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Don't get too far. Just get a snack, get a drink, because we got some good lacrosse upcoming.
To me, I want you to myself.
Welcome back live here on CROW LAX TV. My name is Aiden Bolsgard. Eric Kraus is on the camera and his wife running your score clock today. It is a 9-6 score in favor of the Rebels headed into the possible final frame here of this contest. Couldn't have asked for a better Friday night matchup here in the RMLL Junior B Tier 1 division. It will be 4-on-4 between these two sides when we get back underway, only for about 34 seconds though, and then we'll be at full strength lacrosse. Of course, I should not speak too early as penalties been a premium in this contest, that is for sure. Definitely a few lulls in plays as the referees have had to figure out multiple penalties at once, but let's see if these two sides keep her clean and see what can happen here before the end of the third. The Outlaws have already erased a 4-goal deficit once before in this contest. Can they make it a 3-goal deficit erased here in this final frame? Loose ball push called against Jacob Goodrow there, and it should be Rebels ball, but gonna get left, and the penalty gonna get called on Fort Saskatchewan here as well. So 4-on-3 is where we'll be now as the Rebels head to the penalty kill. And this Rebels penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional customer service. I'll as well let you know to be sure to get your weekly CROW LAX TV 50/50 tickets on sale until Monday at 4 p.m. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels for more information at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. We're underway here in this short 4-on-3 power play for the Outlaws until we'll move 5-on-4 when both men step out of the box. A quick shot there to start this power play for them. Grayson Maloney stopped up nicely by Hunter Lukoweski. 19:46 to go in the third, so if you're just tuning in, you've come right at the right time. You still got a full period to watch as Ben Renault is going to step up along the floor here, along the right wing, feeling some pressure here from two Outlaw defenders, but still with the ball as he continues to kill off this penalty for the Rebels. 15 seconds to go on their shot clock. A little bit of a fake of the crease dive there by Renault, but nonetheless, still with possession. Almost getting the full kill as the two players step out of the box, so we're now 5-on-4 for the next minute 22. As the Outlaws going to be able to gain pack possession here, but a full 30 seconds killed off by the Rebels there, and that's exactly how they want to see that continue to go. As Peyton Cook going to bring this across center, toss off this ball now for Eric Tompkins. The Rebels, of course, moving broadcast right to left in this third period as they were in the first, playing a little bit of pass now are Carter Grace and Tompkins. Tompkins going to feed that to the point now. Looking for his options out there on the floor. Chooses to go to the point once again there for Murray. Tompkins with it once again. Drops that to the crease, and that one just caught a piece of the outside of the post there on the shot from Preston Stewart. And another save here from the Rebels goaltender, Hunter Lukoweski. 18:40 to go in the period. Only another 42 seconds for the Rebels to kill off on this penalty. They got 22 seconds on their shot clock as Matthew Vetch has it down in the corner and is working with this ball behind the net once again. Going to get the pressure here of two Outlaws as he's pinned up along the boards now, trying to find his escape route, using his arm to brace him there along the boards, and now going to get brought down to the floor, but brings an Outlaw player to the floor with him. 20 seconds to go now in this penalty kill. 2 seconds on the Rebels shot clock, and that's another full 30 seconds killed off by the Rebels. A full minute of this power play spent down in the Outlaws zone, and that is not what Beaumont is going to want to see to continue on here. Only 17 seconds to work with now. A man up, still down by 3, is now going to have to move with a little extra pace here. Not a lot of time to work with on this power play. As crossing the line is Tompkins. Tompkins going to bring that down to the crease position and pop that back up to the point for Stewart. Cross floor now fed for Grace. Grace, he's got it now, looking for a lane. Going to let that shot go and look to have caught a piece of the elbow there of Lukoweski, making another save there as the 17:50 to go now in the third. We're back 5-on-5. Ball brought across center here nicely by the Rebels, and the shot on net from Ashton Johnson stopped easily by Reed McLeod. In the corner now, the Outlaws able to feed that one up along the left. Jacob Goodrow going to bring it across half and down into Rebels territory. Goodrow, he's going to stop up now, feed that one to the point. Outlaws setting up their men out on the floor here once again, keeping to the outside, similar to what you saw in the first period by the Outlaws. As They're happy to take those outside shots, but I think they're going to have to get a little action moving through center. There is going to be a slashing penalty upcoming here, I think. Or sorry, actually. This penalty's going to the Outlaws bench, so it should be the Rebels headed to the power play here. Looks to be a too many men call on Beaumont. 17-17 to go in the third. The man heads to serve this penalty, and the Rebels going to be headed to the power play. So I'll let you know that this Rebels power play is brought to you by Smith Insurance Services. They aren't here to sell you insurance. They are here to help you buy it. Starting with the ball at the point was Jackson Baker. He was able to feed that one over to Kohut, who fed it behind the net in front. Now they score. The Rebels reestablishing their 4-goal lead here once again in this contest, giving them that extra cushion as we pursue on here through the third period. Since the Rebels surrendered that lead in the first and headed 5-5 into the second, they really haven't looked back. Came out with some confidence and continue to push off the Outlaws here as we're going to get set at center here. Stepping in is, who guessed it, CROW LAX Simonson for the Rebels. Their dedicated draw man, and what a position that one is. He's in against Grayson Maloney for that one. Comes out, Miller Scrimshaw going to be able to bring this across half and has possession for the Rebels. Lost that ball out of his stick as he takes a late hit there in front of the Outlaws bench. No penalty upcoming, but that's going to draw some attention from the Rebels players here. And we got a couple people tied up as the ball was turned back the other way, but now able to pull everyone apart were the referees. It doesn't look like there's any penalties upcoming as of right now. It looks like it's just going to be Outlaws ball when we resume, and indeed we have now, as that one popped right out of the stick by Matthew Vetch. Nicely done by him. A little bit of a pickpocket is what I would call that, as Vetch searching for the hat trick in this contest. He's got 2 so far, as Vetch going to stop up the blue line now, looks for it, feeds that over to the right. He's going to be able to get recovered there by Jolivet. Jolivet now tried to give a little nice drop off there as he took a big hit along the boards and looks to still be down. Does Ethan Jolivet. Now able to get up. Play was blown dead. Looks like it's going to be Outlaws ball. No penalties upcoming here. Jolivet under his own strength, going to the bench, getting a couple taps from both sides. Sportsmanship you like to see in this game, despite it being a rough one. Still out here to play the game is everyone. As this ball going to get fed now to Carter Grace. Grace, he's going to feed that one down nicely for Maloney. Maloney still with it now. Evades his defender. Gets an open lane. He scores! Oh my! A nice picked corner to the top left. Past Hunter Lukaweski, and with 16:20 to go in the third, the Outlaws have brought this game back within 3. It didn't take long for them to do it, and now they're all the way, trying to make their way back here once again. Still lots of time to go in their third. This is the game of lacrosse. It's a high-scoring one, so definitely do not count anyone out yet in this contest. We're getting set at the center here once again. It's going to be CROW LAX Simonson in against Jacob Goodrow. Simonson going to drop that one back. Miller Scrimshaw going to be able to pick that one up for the Rebels and throw that one over to the right. And here comes up the floor of the Rebels. Renault, he crosses half, going to feed that one over now to Kohut. Kohut, he stops up. Looking for his options on the floor, able to feed that one over nicely now to Eastwood. Eastwood up to the point now for Baker. Baker looking for his options, finds a lane in the center, lets that one go, and that's a nice save there from Reed McLeod. Ball does come out loose, going to get picked up by the Outlaws, who look to turn it back with some speed. Here comes Beaumont, stopping up smartly there was Jacob Goodrow, lost his open floor and chose to just hold on to the possession for Beaumont. Is now working with it down in the corner is Weatherby. He's able to toss it up. Up at the point now are the Outlaws as it's fed over nicely once again here for Maloney. Maloney looking for some options, feeling some massive pressure here from who looks to be Matthew Vetch, and indeed that's the case. Shot towards the net, gets stopped nicely by Hunter Lukaweski, and it's the Rebels who have it. Quickly moved up the floor now, finds its way to Teej Brown. He's going to stop up just before the blue line, wait and feeds it off to Simonson. Simonson going to fill his position now as the rest of the Rebels get out on the floor. Only 15 minutes to go now in this third period. Fed behind the net by Fort Saskatchewan, looking to work their way out here. Comes up to the point, shot towards the net there, and that one looked to have caught a piece of Reed McLeod. Does dribble right back out in the crease, trying to leak out here, but now picked up by the Outlaws. Both sides in danger of getting a crease violation there. The back end, of course, for the Outlaws, or the straight step in by Fort Saskatchewan, but nobody making a violation there. And now it's going to be the Rebels who have recovered in their own zone. 14:40 to go now in the third as this ball is going to get dropped off for Calix Simonson. Simonson going to bring that over the blue line now, back into that position he ever so likes so far in these last couple possessions. And going to put that one up now for Kohut. Kohut right to the center there, and the big right shoulder save by Reed McLeod, keeping his team within 3 here as the Outlaws look to head up the floor once again. Wyatt Polson, he's looking for his options. Feeds that down to the crease now. Working his way up towards the point is Carter Grace. Grace, cross-floor feed now as the Outlaws continue to look for some open space. Grace got the ball once again down to the corner there nicely for Grayson Maloney. You're going to see a lot of this mix of players out on the floor as Grace looks to be in some pain as he's down on the floor, kind of grasping at his head, but I'm not sure if that's what's hurting him. And still holding on to his head is Carter Grace, but getting off the floor under his own power. May have got the wind knocked out of him, trying to keep his arms in the sky here so he can catch his breath, but good on Grace there to get to the bench quickly and under his own power. That's what you like to see, as the Rebels now going to be in possession and cross the center line here once again with the ball. It's Calix Simonson. Simonson with it. Fed that one cross floor, tried to hit Cale Owen. Owen couldn't quite gather that one in, and that allows Kai Ellis to get it for the Outlaws and now move it up along. It's going to be a fast break here for the Outlaws. Now in alone there was Grayson Maloney, but missed the net with his shot, giving him nothing to shoot at. Was Hunter Lukaweski as the Rebels head back up the floor here once again. 13.5 to go now in this third period. They're stopped up. Ashton Johnson. He feeds that one up to the point and finding his man in Calix Simonson, who's now going to hit Jackson Baker streaming off the bench. Baker back to Simonson, looking for his options. Taking a hit now from Joshua Booth, but still with the puck is Simonson as he lets that one go there, and that's going to be stopped easily by the stick of Reed McLeod, and he's looking to stretch this one up the floor with some speed as well, and he finds his man in Jackson Weatherby. The good connection there is now coming off the bench are the Outlaws. Up to the point, the quick shot, and that one just misses the net there, recovered by the Rebels. Stumbling around there was Riley Longmire, but still able to hold on to it and get that pass up the floor. Grit there from Longmire, able to get that ball ahead to Teej Brown, who's now able to get that one off to Simonson. Simonson ran into 2 Outlaws, find his man. A good spread of the floor here for the Rebels as Cale Owen has it now as well. 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Owen tried to feed that up to the point for Simonson, but couldn't quite find him. Battle for the loose ball. Jenna Snyder was in there, but that allowed the Outlaws to pick back up, and here comes Goodrow. Spins off his man, lets that shot go, and a save there in front by Hunter Lukaweski, keeping his team in the lead. A Scrimshaw off the bench, just couldn't quite grab that one in. Some physical play for him. Ball recovered by the goaltender, Reed McLeod, as the Outlaws now going to bring it up the floor once again. Cohen Sutherland, he gets across half. Looking for his options now. Going to just toss that one off to Preston Stewart. Stewart looking for his options. Feeds that into the middle. Stewart found a man in Carter Dickin. Fed that down, and now ball found its way there nicely to Stewart, and his shot stopped up by Lukaweski once again. 11:40 to go now in the third as here come the Rebels back the other way once again. Working with the ball and running straight into a hit there was Davin Bajema. He has some help now. Ball going to find its way across half. Outlaws do pick it up, but play blown dead now as looks like tossed to the floor there by Kai Ellis was Jackson Weatherby. There is a penalty upcoming here against, it looks to be Baker and Weatherby headed to the box, so maybe the coincidentals. So it looks like the embellishment being called on Weatherby. So indeed, that's going to be the call there. Embellishment called on Weatherby. But Baker going to join him in the box nonetheless, as you'll see those calls go all the time. 10-7 is your score here, and we are 4-on-4 between these two squads. No coincidentals here in the RMLL. Some dismay from the fans in the stands, but it wasn't the referee not watching that called that. It was Blake Petrushko who was actually looking up the floor who made that penalty call, and the embellishment came after, as it does, of course, once the conversation ensues about it. Nonetheless, we're back underway, 4-on-4. Scrimshaw going to be able to cross half here. Maybe trying to slow this game down a little bit, as it's been pretty quick back and forth, and that's when dangerous things can happen. So for the Rebels, trying to slow it down with about 11 minutes to go, as Scrimshaw gets caught up behind the net and dropped down to his knees there, and another big hit in the corner, and things continue to get more and more physical here, as now Scrimshaw going to make his way to the bench. 11:09 to go in the third. Looks like it's going to be Rebels ball as we remain 4-on-4 for another minute 40. Ball gets sent up to the point here nicely for Simonson. Simonson feeds that one across now for Manning. Manning shot towards the net, and they score. Nice shot there from the outside by Manning, and with a minute 32 to go, 4-on-4, the Rebels have reestablished that 4-goal lead. Once again, your score now 11-7 in favor of Fort Saskatchewan. Getting set for the face-off here once again in the center. Simonson going to be in to take this one up against Grayson Maloney, a matchup we've seen quite often so far. Simonson digging at this one, going to be able to pull it out once again. The Rebels couldn't quite pick up that loose ball. It's going to be a battle for it now. Drop back and a nice little push ahead there by Simonson, and he finds Ben Renault, who's now directing some traffic here as the Rebels come off the bench. Renault going to feed that to Simonson. That pass got away from him a little bit there. Engaging contact is Renault, as we're still 4-on-4 for another minute 10 here. Ball now in possession of Mullen Eastwood, as he lets go of the shot, and the nice left shoulder save there by McLeod. Still with possession are the Rebels, and a fresh 30 to work with here, is now with the ball is Cale Owen once again. Owen, he has it. Has a lane. Going to let that one go, and a nice left leg save that time by McLeod, using all his pads. Fed up the floor now nicely there by McLeod. He finds his man in Carter Grace, who's now off the bench once again. Good to see him back out on the floor for the Outlaws as we creep down to exactly 10 minutes to go now in this third period. The Rebels have brought it across center. Once again, maybe a little too nonchalant is Eastwood here, as he's now feeling some pressure, getting pushed closer to the Outlaws bench, but now uses his speed to scoop that pass out. Kind of comes dangerously out into the middle, but Manning able to recover now and feeds that one over for Simonson. Down to the corner now. Rebels trying to pick this up, but the Outlaws do recover. 10 seconds to go. 4-on-4 with some speed. Comes back the Outlaws. Booth going to choose to stop up here. Booth feeds that one up to the point nicely for Tompkins. Tompkins trying to find his way around his man there in Riley Longmire. Longmire without a stick now, pushing Tompkins along, but couldn't get him across half. Fed to Grace, who feeds down to the corner now, trying to go back up to the point are the Outlaws. It's going to be a race for a loose ball now. Rebels trying to pick up. Little trouble getting that one there was Rylan Walsh, but now able to pick that one up once again. Walsh sending his man dancing here. Good footwork there from Rylan Walsh, and he's still got it now. Feeds that one to the center. Almost had his man in the middle there in Jackson Baker, but going to take a step into the crease, and that's going to turn it over to the Outlaws. 8:54 now to go in this third period. From what I can see, 3-2 your score between the Oilers and Vancouver as well, in favor of the Canucks. Unfortunately, yes, I'm a commentator, but I'm going to be biased in this situation. They aren't playing in this game that I'm talking about. Down now are the Outlaws in the Rebels zone, up to the point now for Tompkins. He tries to let that one go. It looked to have caught the left pad there of Lukaweski. Still with possession now are the Outlaws. It's fed nicely to the center, and it's going to be a crease violation called there on Preston Stewart, as I could even see that one here from the press box. And now some more rough stuff ensuing here is continuing on, pushing each other here. It looks to be Maloney, involved in this here. I don't know if any penalties going to come from this one, as both players just going to get sent back to their respective benches. 8:25 to go in the third. It's going to be Rebels ball. Matthew Vetch going to be there to pick it up for them, and he'll just feed it ahead quickly there for Calix Simonson. Simonson going to bring that over to the right wing half boards now. A little bit deeper than he was playing initially in this period. Now fed that ball over nicely for Manning. Manning looking for an option. Feeds that down to the corner. Almost had his man in Jolivet, but now a loose ball battle ensues. Manning, he's going to come away with it, trying to find his way around a man. Lets that one go. Tried to go short side there on McLeod, but just missed the net on the bounce shot, but now comes loose in the center, and trying to let his shot go there was Eastwood, but knocked out of his stick at the last second, and some more pushing happens between these two sides, and I think we can expect that as we continue to go down the course of this game. 7:50 to go now in this third period as the Outlaws have entered the Rebel zone here once again. A nice stick check there from Mullen Eastwood. And that's going to allow him to pass that one up along the right wing to Ben Renault. Renault just going to drop that one off nicely for Jackson Baker. Baker going to pull that one into that right shooter position. Gets some open space in the middle. Baker all alone. He scores. Baker, a couple stick handles. I don't know, maybe times that by about 4, and that'd be able to describe the amount of stick work that was going on there from Jackson Baker. But he finds his second goal of the contest, and the Rebels lead this game by 5, their largest lead of this contest so far as time continues to wind down in the third period. We're going to step into center once again, where you'll see the similar matchup of Kalix Simonson and Grayson Maloney going to battle for this ball to get possession back for the Outlaws. Time now an enemy. They almost have to score a goal a minute to tie this contest up. I'm not saying it's not doable, but things looking better and better in the Rebels' favor here, looking for their first win at home of the season, as this ball picked up off the draw by Weatherby, who brings it down into the Rebel zone on his opposite side, so trying to find a way back to it or to give this ball away on a pass, but being pressured by 2 Fort Saskatchewan Rebels, and now trying to make his way behind the bench. A nice stick check there by Miller Scrimshaw, who has it now for the Rebels behind his own net. Going to have to move this quickly. Stolen away, nicely in front, and a right shoulder save by Hunter Lukoweski, and a big hit there by Scrimshaw, who's given him some words here, and it looks like Miller Scrimshaw going to be headed to the box on this play. Seem to not be happy about it is the captain, but as much as you argue, Miller, I don't think you're getting out of this one. See what the actual call ends up being here on Scrimshaw. High stick going to be called against him, and back to the power play are the Beaumont Outlaws. So this Rebels penalty kill is brought to you by 5-2 Projects, as you may remember, providing construction services tailored to meet the unique needs of each client, committed to delivering top-notch quality and exceptional customer service. Still waiting for the Outlaws to come out and take possession of this ball. Brett Murray going to come in and do so. This gets fed over now, and Murray gets the return feed. Fed down to the corner now. A lot of pass going on, as we've seen. It's a 5-minute penalty assessed to Scrimshaw. Almost going to last the remainder of this contest, as there's only 6:40 remaining in this third period. A nice shot there from the point by Carter Grace, and the right shoulder save by Lukoweski allows Matthew Vetch to move down the floor shorthanded. He's already got 2 goals in this contest, looking for some more, as now he's got to cut to the center. Feeds that one to the point, couldn't be gathered in. Now it's going to be a race for this loose ball. Here's come back with some speed the other way is Polson. Polson going to wait here. He has a man coming into the center. Don't send that pass, please. And he doesn't, and chooses to let that shot go, and that's saved by Lukoweski there. 6:11 to go in the third. 4:14 to go in the penalty kill for the Rebels, as they brought it back down into Outlaws territory and now behind the net. Davin Bajema taking a couple hits, but still with possession here. 12 seconds left to kill off is what he's capable of, with the shot clock being his enemy here. And wow, oh my, nice move from Bajema, who gets to the center, lets that shot go, and a right pad save by Reed McLeod. But oh my, Davin Bajema, show off the handles and your ability to get into a scoring position despite the shorthanded situation. The Rebels still able to get something on net. 3:40 to go now on this penalty kill, and 5:40 to go in this third period, as the Outlaws have it in the Rebels zone once again. Thrown cross floor there by Grace, making sure everyone gets a touch of the ball here to start the possession, as that shot from the point by Brett Murray goes just wide. Now it's going to be the Rebels headed back the other way. Short-handed. It's a breakaway, and that shot just goes wide there by Reese Walsh. And out of play, so the Outlaws going to get this ball after the play was blown dead, and now going to get their step over the center. Ball tossed off nicely to Eric Tompkins. Tompkins has it at the point. Some pass ensued now. Grace in on this as well. Grace He's got the ball, fed nicely to the left shooter there, and a nice right shoulder save by Lukaweski there once again. 4:50 to go now in the third. 12-7, still the lead for the Rebels. Haven't surrendered anything since. 2:45 to go on the penalty kill, and now a penalty upcoming to the Outlaws there as Reese Walsh able to draw that one in. Defending or trying to hold the ball against two men. It's not going to matter though as play blown dead and the slashing call being assessed to the Outlaws. That'll leaving us up 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes of play. Headed to the box for Beaumont is Eric Tompkins. It's going to be the Rebels. We're going to start with this ball up at the point. In possession will be Jackson Baker. Baker picks this one up now. Able to find his man there in Mullen Eastwood. Eastwood feeds that one across the floor, finding Calix Simonson. Simonson lost his handle on that one, and that allows Jenna Snyder to make her way down the floor. Had the rush there. Ball came loose, and another shot towards the net goes high and wide on the bounce shot. The funny thing, a shot can still go wide if you shoot it low in lacrosse. Bounced off the floor and into the ceiling. 4:10 to go in the third period. Still a minute and a half of 4-on-4 time here until the Outlaws head back to the power play on the lengthy penalty taken by Miller. Scrimshaw, as that one looked to have caught a piece of possibly the crossbar there on the opportunity by the Rebels. Now pinned up behind his own net momentarily was Peyton Cook, but now found his way out and able to feed that one over to Jackson Weatherby on the left side of the floor. Weatherby directing traffic with a couple nods of his head. Able to feed that one over now. Finds his man in Carter Grace. Grace seen out there a lot on the power play. It's the behind-the-back opportunity shot there. Stopped nicely by Lukaweski. You can't trick him today. 3.5 to go now in the third. Ball at that right shooter position once again for Brett Murray. Murray now down in the crease. Feeds that one to the center there. In the slot for Carter Grace, and his shot went just wide, but the Outlaws still with possession. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock as of right now. Grace going to let another shot go, and that one gets into the pads of Lukaweski and makes another stop, creeping up on 3 minutes to go now in the third. 30 seconds, 4-on-4 remaining as Vetch going to bring this across the center for the Rebels. Trying to escape the pressure here as the offense gets back on the floor for Fort Saskatchewan. Now fed up to the point nicely for Jackson Baker, who will stream this one over to the right side of the floor. Baker now. He's directing traffic. Looking for his options. Feeds that one to the center nicely, and a shot on net there by Tyler Manning. Stopped by Reed McLeod, who gets down to stop that one. The nice big wooden stick for Reed McLeod, who steps out of his crease. Feeds this up along the left wing, and that bounces way into the penalty box as the Outlaw player was coming out. So we're now 5-on-4. The Rebels on the penalty kill here. Once again, it is their ball with a full shot clock, so can kill the entirety of this penalty down in the Outlaw zone if they're able to hold on to it. Now stepping towards the center is Manning. They're saying you got to step in the crease. I'd have to agree on that call there. And Cohen Sutherland now going to pick it up in the corner and feed it up along the left wing for Wyatt Polson. Polson steps across center now, just going to dish that one off as the Outlaws get set. Only 12 seconds to work with on the power play as we creep up on 2 minutes to go in this game. Fed nicely now to the right shooter position. Nice pass there from Carter Grace that opened up the shot position, and he's got another opportunity now, and that one gets blocked away in front by who looked to be Riley Longmere, soaking up that ball nicely. Now stepping over the box is Scrimshaw. He's going to have a lane to the net. Miller Scrimshaw gets two bodies and going to lose it out of his stick momentarily. Passes to himself there as he grabs it out of the air. Now looking for an option, going to be able to feed that one over to Jackson Baker. Minute 40 to go now in the third period. Rebels still lead by 5. All they got to do is bring this one home now as they're going to hold on to it down, feeling some pressure here from Jenna Snyder as that shot goes off the backboards and behind the net, going to get recovered behind by the Outlaw player Marcus Hildebrand, who's going to send the nice behind the back pass, doing it a little fancier to end this game to Jenna Snyder. Minute 15 to go now in this third. Snyder going to pass that off and head for a change. Fed now for Carter Dickin. Dickin continuing to hold on to it, feeds that to the left. Cross field feed there by Carter Grace. Up to the point now. Tompkins let that shot go, and that's stopped up nicely by Lukaweski. How many times have you heard me say that today? Is under a minute to go now in this contest. It's all but over and in favor of Fort Saskatchewan, looking for their first home win of this year. 47 seconds to go in the third. Hit laid there by Teej Brown. Ball comes loose, and Brown able to recover, looking for a pass option. Feeds that one ahead. The Rebels have it now. It's Reese Walsh in the offensive zone with it. 30 seconds to go in this contest, and 20 on the Rebels shot clock, so just going to hold on to it as long as possible, I'm sure, here. Not going to feel too much pressure from the Outlaws. Leading by 5. There's not much left to be done about this one, so I don't think you're going to see too much hastiness coming from Beaumont as Walsh continues to hold on to this, dumps it down behind the net. 10 seconds to go, and all we got to do is watch the time run out, and the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels have found their first win of the season here at home at the Moyer Recreation Center in Josephsburg, and that will do it. 12-7 is your final score. Thank you for listening live here on CROW LAX TV tonight. My name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Eric Kraus ran the camera for you today, and his lovely wife, of course, doing your score. It's been a team effort here from Moyer in the broadcast booth, and hopefully you enjoyed it at home. Again, I appreciate it. You have yourself a good weekend.